Now, those 3 tests that we just got finished discussing have been shown, we've shown very positive outcomes with our pre-test and post-test measures for the LSVT BIG program. It's a very intense program. Research has shown that exercise does need to be more intense than we have thought in the past for rehabilitation purposes. The LSVT is delivered 4 times a week for 4 weeks, and clients are expected to do homework to complement that program.
Okay. Well, that sounds good because you can assess him whether or not at this point all the different people for that simple test if they're going to have a fall or not. Now, Joe, of course, was in really good shape.
Right.
So a lot of people that may have a hip replacement or something like that that will come to you as well, then you can also assess that after they've been done. So,
right,
yeah.
And it's very rewarding to have something very concrete. People do have to stand up from a variety of surfaces all day long, from dining room furniture, living room furniture. So it's a very practical skill that involves strength, flexibility, and balance.
Yes. And also, do you also do any, let's say someone that is getting older and they happen to have a house with stairs. So there's a concern with the children that mom and dad going up and down the stairs. Is there a test that you do for that as well?
Yes, there are other higher level balance tests that we can do, and that does screen clients for their risk for falling. So sometimes, you know, we may have people who are fearful of falling, or as you said, you know, adult children who are fearful for their parents, but it might not be an issue.
Okay.
Or there might be, again, some simple environmental things that we can suggest, making sure that we have rails on both sides of the stairs,
Okay.
eliminating scatter rugs, and some of those types of things.
Yeah. And I also understand that there's some really great inventions with showers, so that a lot of people, elderly, that actually, instead of stepping over the shower, now they can actually open a door.
That's
to
right.
Go in and take a shower. So
that's
yeah.
right. Or eliminating a threshold altogether so that there is nothing that we have to step over. Or using a shower bench so you have something to sit on can help.
And also even the handle in the shower as well to hold on to.
Correct,
Yeah.
correct.
So it seems like we're catching up with a lot of variables to help the elderly, and also even the recovery time for some of the people as well.
Correct.
Yeah. Okay. So let's say that you have a client that just got done having a hip replaced. Okay, so they've come to you and they've gone through what they need to do, and you're ready to excuse them. So is there anything that you do specifically after the treatment or after the physical therapy with them?
It's very important for people to continue with whatever their physical therapist may recommend, and typically that would be an exercise program.
Okay.
Now, we've got a number of options when it comes to continuing exercise.
Okay.
One thing that a client may do is continue with a home exercise program, and I did bring a piece of TheraBand along. You
Okay.
maybe have seen some of these resistance bands. These are very, very simple. A person does not need a big piece of equipment sitting in the middle of their living room at home in order to continue with an exercise program.
Sure.
A person can do some upper body activities, some leg activities, and maintain their strength that way. Sometimes it's nice to have an easy piece of equipment to use, because that's a cue.
Yes.
Then you remember, oh, I should get that out and do my exercises.
And you can actually take that with you if you're waiting for your children at a playground or whatever. They're playing hockey, you can actually just sit there.
That's
and play.
exactly right.
Yeah.
Or if you travel, this fits easily into a suitcase too. At our facility, one of the things that I appreciate working where I do is that we have what we call a continuum of care, where often when people are finished with their therapy, they may take advantage of some of the options at our facility. We've mentioned the therapeutic pool,
Yes.
and very often people do continue with the water exercise. The pool is a 92-degree pool, which is a therapeutic pool. It's very comfortable. Clients that have issues with pain generally do quite well in the warm water. It's much easier to move, and the warmth facilitates the movement. Also, when you're in the water, you can imagine that you're buoyant, so it's a lot easier to move.
Right.
When people are weak, the water helps them to move through their mobility and can do some good strengthening in the water.
Yeah.
Our pool has a ramp so that if someone is unable to walk down a ladder or stairs to access a pool, they can walk down the ramp. We also have wheelchairs that are available. So if someone uses a wheelchair and is unable to walk, they can wheel right into the water.
Yes.
So there's no excuse for not participating in a pool program. And as a matter of fact, one of my greatest joys, one of the things that I love the best is when I'm seeing someone in the pool for the first time. You mentioned your experience with kind of how exciting it was to be able to move and walk in the water. A lot of times people don't know what to expect.
Yes.
You know, they're afraid we're going to make them swim. And it's not that. You know,
Right.
we're in the water and we're doing exercise in the water.
And you have a lot of flotation devices if they also have a little fear of the water as well.
Right.
Yes.
So it just gives me great joy to see someone in the water for that first time, and it's such an enlightenment for them to see, you know, how much they can do and how
Yeah.
much they enjoy it. It really is fun. So when people are done with therapy, they may continue using the pool, doing an independent program. Also, for some clients, classes are a great option. It's easy to get burned out and just bored when you're coming by yourself.
Sure.
But when you're in a group, it's sometimes is more fun because
Yes.
there are other people. It becomes very social. And so it can be very positive from a psychosocial perspective to be in a group. We have a fitness center as well as our pool, and this is a land-based fitness center. The equipment that is in the fitness center was specially chosen to be user-friendly. We have a couple of upper body pieces of equipment where the seat swings away so that if someone is using a wheelchair, they can wheel right up to the equipment and not have to worry about performing a transfer.
Okay.
In the fitness center, clients may continue coming independently. They may bring a caregiver, like I was
Yes.
for Mrs. Thorpe. They might bring someone along with them who can help them to get set up or help with the transfer, that type of thing. And we also have fantastic staff
Right.
that are available to do programming with clients.
Right. And we were lucky enough that there was a volunteer there to help my father-in-law as well. I went ahead and helped him at the beginning, and then when I had to go back to work, then that was when the volunteer came in to help him too.
Right.
Yeah,
I'm glad you brought
yeah.
that up because we
Yes.
do have a fantastic volunteer program.
Yeah.
I believe the statistic is from last year we had over 2,000 volunteers, over 90,000 hours of service. And it's such a great opportunity for volunteers. Often we have students that are maybe interested in pursuing physical therapy or occupational therapy. If they'd like to learn a little bit more about the services we provide, being a volunteer for one of our programs is just an outstanding opportunity. It's a
Yeah.
real win-win.
Yeah. And also you get to experiment to see if that's the field you'd like to go in.
That's right,
Yeah.
yeah.
Like you did when, it kind of gave you that love and passion to help someone like you did, yeah.
Right.
So a quick question for you then. What does the future for rehabilitation hold for physical therapies?
Just like in the rest of our lives, I think we all know how much technology has changed our lives.
Yes.
And I see that happening a lot in the world of rehabilitation. Courage Center recently received a grant from the Christopher and Dana Reeves Foundation, the Neuro Recovery Network, to do research for people who have had a spinal cord injury.
Okay.
And part of that research project, the hallmark really of it, is a computerized treadmill for treadmill training, for walking.
Oh.
So even if someone does not have complete use of their legs, they are able to be in a harness and suspended over the treadmill.
Okay.
And there are 4 people involved in providing this treadmill training. There's one person behind the client, stabilizing at the hips, at the pelvis, and then a person on each side helping to move each leg.
Wow.
And then there's a person at the computer manning the treadmill, and we are able to get a lot of information from the computer about how much weight bearing the client is doing and that type of thing. And this is not what we would say is a cure for spinal cord injury, but there are great, great benefits to be had. First of all, the client achieves a cardiovascular benefit from exercise. They have been shown to have fewer skin breakdowns. That can be a large problem when people are quite stationary, having skin breakdown. There can be improvement in bowel and bladder function. There can be better trunk control. And again, the sense of well-being, the positive mental aspects from participating in an exercise program.
Yeah, and how rewarding for them to actually be able to use that part of their body that they have not been able to do.
Correct.
Yeah.
And we have bikes that are also incorporated in using electrical stimulation, where electrode pads are placed on the leg muscles, and this helps a person to propel the bike. There's a device that one can wear around their upper calf that provides electrical stimulation to help the muscles fire, the muscles work to hold your toes up when you are walking so that you don't trip.
Yes.
And otherwise, clients normally would be wearing a brace or that type of thing, but electrical stim is being used for that now too.
Well, that sounds so great. But I'm afraid that we're running out of time, Sonia, so I want to thank you for bringing all this great information to my viewers.
Well, thank you for having me. It's been my pleasure.
It's been a delight. Thank you. Please be sure to tune in again for other shows of Knowledge for Wellness to enhance your overall understanding, and visit my website at www.knowledgeforwellness.com and let us know where you saw the show. And the mission of Knowledge for Wellness is to inform viewers on health issues, to expose, educate, and make viewers aware to enhance themselves and their loved ones for a better quality of life. And I hope we have provided you with more knowledge to benefit you and your loved ones. Until next time, be well and goodbye. Thanks again. That was great.
Over time you've healed so much in me, and I am living proof that although my darkest hour had come, your light could still shine through. And at times it's just enough to cast the shadow on the wall. Though I am grateful that you shine your light on me at all. Who am I that you would love me so gently? Who am I that you would recognize my name? Lord, who am I that you would speak to me so softly? Conversation with a love most high. Who am I? Well, amazing grace.